Fortnite is my favorite game of all time, and it has a lot of praiseworthy elements. Its world design, combat system, lore, music, but today, there is one thing in particular that I want to discuss. And that's how Team Cherry created the best double boss fight in all of gaming? No, definitely not. Later, yes! We're talking about the Mantis Lords. First, we need to go over the pros and cons of double boss fights. Pros, they offer a fun, unique challenge, as well as forcing you to divide your attention. Cons, they're stupid pieces of garbage that won't freaking die, and what the heck is even going on? A large pitfall that some double boss fights fall into, yet the Mantis Lords completely avoid, is complexity. When creating a double boss fight, you don't want to give each boss a bazillion different moves and patterns to learn. You can't just throw a Scorn Magna Malo and a Furious Rasengan in an arena and think that you're the new Miyazaki. Since the player is trying to focus on multiple things at the same time, large move pools can become overstimulating and increase the chance of an FU moment where the game just decides that you get hit now, and there's nothing you can do about it. Double boss fights really need to thrive on their fundamentals and should avoid being too complex. Not saying that they should be easy, just simple. The Mantis Lords have a vertical strike, horizontal strike, and a projectile. A moveset so simple that a 2-year-old could understand it. Shifting the focus to the player, as it just comes down to the raw skill more than anything. Additionally, this boss is great at teaching the player to utilize both their side strikes, down strikes, and jumps to succeed in battle. Another problem double boss fights run into is luring. Now, because fighting one boss is always easier than fighting two bosses, people will naturally want to lure bosses away from each other. The problem with this is that it stops being you versus two bosses, and becomes you versus the boss, and that weird guy in the corner. I told you I don't want your homemade essential oils, just leave me alone! But when you try to lure the Mantis Lords, here girl, I'm right here, come and get me, I'm wide open! Black! I actually think the fact that the Mantis Lords can teleport away is the main reason this fight works so well. Because you can't just awkwardly coax one of the bosses away from the other. Because the second they finish your attack, they're gone faster than life-saving insulin after a restock. God bless the American healthcare system. This removes all the annoying downtime and allows you and the boss to stay on the offensive. Their simple moveset in tandem with their teleportation gives this fight the thing that all double boss fights should strive for, the flow. The reason why double boss fights are so popular are because when they click, they click. That moment when it's just you and the bosses, completely focused on everything, doing it all perfectly, it gives you that sensation of conquering the impossible, and in that moment, you are a god. With most double boss fights, this is rarely the case. Most of the time, you're just rolling around waiting for the boss to calm down and give you a freaking opening. Very rarely do you actually get that moment where you're in the zone and can stand there taking everything that comes at you. But with the Mantis Lord, that feeling is prevalent through most of the fight because it actually feels like you're fighting a team, not just two enemies doing their own thing. Though, this fight does have one problem. It's actually kinda easy. I mean, yeah, your first few times with them will probably be pretty rough, but this is the third boss in the game. Their health and speed just can't really compete with the endgame bosses. They're just a little slow, and I wish there was a way to speed them. Well, Mantis Lords might be one of the best double boss fights out there. Sisters of Battle is the best boss. Period. No, this is not up for debate. All of you get out of here. We have a winner! That flow I was talking about earlier, yeah, that just never stops now. And this ain't no baby fight either. This is a proper in-game battle. This fight is just perfection, and I'd be happy to get crushed by these girls anytime. Wait, don't take that out of context.